Let me take you back to June.
Yeah.
You've just lost in dramatic fashion to a guy nobody thought should even be in the ring with you. What are you thinking in that moment?
I always felt like there was an opportunity of me losing. That's just the name of the game and the sport that we're in. And it happened. So I realised I just had to embrace it, accept my loss. And I was just understanding that I didn't lose no heart and I was up for the fight again. So I asked Coach, can we get the rematch? He said, are you sure you want to go down this route? And we're here now.
A lot of people, Anthony, thought that it was a lot of boxing experts thought it was very dangerous to get back in the ring with Andy Ruiz, that he may have your measured, or once somebody beats someone, it kind of gives them a new, a sort of strength and power. So it was a risky thing to do. I watched the fight on Saturday night, and what struck me was you came there with a very specific game plan to show the world, A, you're back, B, you were leaner, you were quicker. You tactically, I thought, completely outboxed him. It was a boxing masterclass and a very different performance to the one we'd seen before. Is it unfair to suggest that you were a little bit complacent last time and that this time you were absolutely on it?
No excuses for the last time. And I don't want anyone to write Andy off. He's a great former champion and he done well. And he beat me fair and square. And sometimes you just have to recheck yourself. And that comes in many different forms. And mine was in the form of a loss. And this time, as you said, I was really concentrating on my job. And I just didn't listen to these so-called boxing experts who told me I wouldn't be able to reclaim my belts and it's dangerous going straight into a rematch. Not many heavyweights have been able to reclaim their belts, but I believed in my team. I kept my same team that everyone told me to get rid of. And I feel like loyalty proves strength. And we went out there and we proved how good we really are now. Two-time heavyweight champion of the world. I'm thankful, I'm grateful, I'm happy to be on the TV with yourself, speaking with you, and all the great things are going to start happening for me again.
It's so lovely to see you, and it's so lovely to be able to congratulate you. Andy Ruiz Jr. said he prepared by 3 months of partying and lack of training and admitted that he was overweight. I mean, how did your training compare to his preparation?
I would love to have trained the way Andy trained. I would have loved to have trained that way, but in reality, that's not the way of a champion.
Yeah.
You know, Andy can say all these things, but he knew he had a fight and he knew the best way to prepare. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way, and I'm sure he can make those changes. And as I said, learning life lessons come in different forms, and Andy's was in the form of a loss as well. So he knows his mistakes, whatever they were or whether their excuses. He just needs to go out there and get it right.
Also, to be honest, Anthony, he wasn't exactly underweight last time, was he? So let's put things in perspective. He's a very unusual combatant in the world heavyweight boxing, but he's done. You've beaten him. The big question now that the whole boxing world wants. I've never known the world heavyweight contest be this exciting, really, since the days of Ali, Foreman and Frazier and those guys. It's back on. There are three great champions, right? You've got Deontay Wilder, you've got Tyson Fury, you've got yourself. You've all either are or have been world heavyweight champions. The world wants to see you get in the ring now with one of those guys. Are you going to make that your next fight?
I would love to make that my next fight. I'm taking it one step at a time. Whenever they are ready, honestly, they know where to find us. I'm not a running champion. I'm someone who will fight the best in the world. And as you mentioned, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury are those guys. I would love to have the opportunity to either beat Deontay Wilder or beat Tyson Fury.
And do you think you would beat them?
You can see. I definitely believe so. And why I say you can see is because I've displayed different styles of fighting, sometimes inside fighting, sometimes knockout fighting, and sometimes a boxing man's fight. So I feel like I have their number because I can display a variety of skills when it comes to boxing.
Let me ask you this, Anthony. You, in one of my favourite quotes and moments, actually, in one of my favourite movie series, the Rocky films, is Rocky Balboa basically says, it ain't how hard you get hit. It ain't how hard you can hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep on moving. It's a wonderful quote about life, actually. You've just come through 5, probably the toughest months of your entire life and career. And you've proven that point, that it's not about actually the winning. Sometimes it's about taking a crushing defeat and coming back. What have you learned about yourself in that period?
You have to trust your instincts as well, because as you mentioned earlier, if I would have listened to boxing experts, and these are experts of the game who were giving me advice to change my team and so on, don't take the rematch and so on, there's so much information coming in and you tend to block out your own gifted instincts, that gut feeling. So I've just believed that I have to trust my gut instinct, because I know myself. No one knows me better than myself. And if I feel it, I have to believe it. And just like we did on Saturday, we brought it to reality. And that's it. It's just trusting in your instincts. I've got to trust in my instincts, and hopefully we can be creative and create history.
There's been a lot of controversy about the choice of venue for the fight. It was in Saudi Arabia, a very oppressive regime in many ways, been at the centre of a lot of scandals in the last year in particular. Did you have any qualms? Obviously, it was a big payday for you, but did you have any qualms about accepting the fight in Saudi Arabia?
I was just focused on the fight and the rematch. To have it on neutral grounds was fine for me. The team make the great decisions. I'm making a decision to fight there. And from what I've seen, honestly, looking out the window now, it's a nice place. And in terms of the regime, I hadn't diverted my attention from focusing on my fight to focus on the things that are happening or maybe happening in Saudi, because when I came off the plane, I just saw a beautiful structure, buildings, cars and roads. I didn't see all the things that I've heard about Saudi Arabia.
But there are cars and there are beautiful roads, but most women aren't allowed to drive on them, for example.
No, there's loads of women driving. There's loads. Well, from what I see, there's loads of women driving out here.
I think they have changed the rule recently, actually, yeah.
Yeah. So it's that's what I mean.
Anthony, do you feel in a way that it opens up places like Saudi Arabia? I mean, there's so much hypocrisy, I think, about this kind of thing, because the next Football World Cup's in Qatar, for example. So there's a lot of hypocrisy. Do you feel like taking a big event like this to somewhere like Saudi Arabia opens up that country to, people looking at it, examining it, and maybe improving it?
Most definitely. I think there's so many different ways, and it's about being open and especially open-minded, because if I'm listening to what someone's telling me, I was expecting to come off the plane and seeing a completely different, like a war zone. But I've come off the plane, and as I said, it was the simple things like women driving, men driving, beautiful buildings, architecture and roads. And I feel like all my travelling supporters that came to Saudi Arabia got to experience that. And it's nice for them as well, because they said they had a great time. I think hospitality's in their culture. They looked after us. But at the same time, I am looking forward to getting home, and it's been a great experience for me. And it's one for my history books, and I'm glad we created a history in Saudi Arabia.
Well, Saudi Arabia's a long way to go in terms of human rights, but congratulations on a stunning victory. Final question, that moment when they say the new heavyweight champion of the world, again, is Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
What did that feel for you?
It was that saying, it was so nice, I had to do it twice. And that's why I don't listen to no boxing experts. I'm the boxing expert. I knew it, and I made it happen.
A lot of people eating humble pie today, Anthony. You've made a lot of people eat humble pie.
I'm going to slap some on my website as well so they can get some exclusive stuff.
The Anthony Joshua humble pie for world's boxing experts. Congratulations, champ. I love it when great champions lose and come back. It happened with my friend Lennox Lewis. Twice he lost. Twice he went back and beat the guys that beat him. There's no greater mark of a champion than that you get back up, you go back in, and you beat up the guy that beat you. And you've done that, and you've got the whole country behind you, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good to talk to you.